Yeah, sorry, a little bit late. Me and Jace were talking. I mean, there's a lot, like it's a crazy night in high school football across the state. I was just showing the views are going up. You got 60 views right now. 13 of them are on my Twitter. 3 of them are Rougarou Sports Media on our Twitter page, and then you got and then 0 right now for the YouTube page. However, I expect the number to climb up as the night goes on. If you're watching this on Twitter, please follow Rougarou Sports Media, and also make sure to like us, subscribe to us on YouTube, and also like the video if you are watching on YouTube. I'm your host, Chachere. I'm a reporter for Crescent Sports, as well as the owner of Rougarou Sports Media. I'm joined here by my longtime friend, Jace Lejeune, beat writer for Gridiron Football. Jace, what a crazy night. A lot of unexpected results, a lot of them expected. We got 2 teams that scored 69 points tonight, so that's nice.
Of course.
Vermilion Catholic wins big over Riverside. I mean, there's a lot of big time games that happen tonight. I mean, I know week 5, of course, is usually the week where everything starts to rev up. And Chase, I know you're at a big time game tonight. I mean, in St. Paul's U High. Of course, I was at Vanderbilt Catholic Lutcher. Lutcher looks really good, by the way, like really, really good.
Yeah, I heard.
Just like what's your overall thoughts about the Knights? I know the results are still coming in.
Yeah.
Even though most results have come in, they're still waiting some others. But Jace, what do you have to say about tonight, and also last night as well? I mean, last night was a pretty good night as well.
Yeah, exactly, Grant. Appreciate you having me on again. We pretty much had a pre-reaction show to the reaction show. That makes any sense. We were basically just talking about all these results, all these matchups, and you almost need to have like a pre-reaction show to the reaction show, if that makes any sense. Well, yeah, there's a lot of things going on this week, man. We were both there yesterday. Very exciting game between Franklinton and Jules Sumner. And that was one of the craziest games I've covered in a while. Jules Sumner had opportunities to really close the deal. Twice, Grant, they're up by 8. They should have been up by 9, missed the extra points, and that really came to hurt them at the end because Franklinton just kept hovering around like the whole time. Jules Sumner was up 27-13 and at one point, and it looked like, okay, the Cowboys were looking good. They were in control, but Franklinton just hung around. Every time they needed a big play, they got a big play. And then late in the game, like 2 minutes left, I was even telling you and Spencer, like, this extra point's huge. You got to make this extra point. They miss it. And with 2 timeouts, they got the ball in pretty good field position, moved the ball downfield in 2 minutes, scored a touchdown, got the 2-point conversion, and their defense was able to get a stop in overtime, and they put it into the the leg of their 9th grade kicker and won them the game. So that was a huge game. And talking to Coach Soft reminds you after the game, he's like, hey, we where's the respect for us now? We've defeated a couple of ranked opponents. We deserve some respect. So this is his opportunity with Gridiron Football being there, Crescent City Sports being there, OHSA Network being there, for him to say, hey guys, get the word out. Franklinton needs to be in the polls. So that was a huge win on the road adversity against Jules Sumner. So that was last night. That's how crazy last night was. And then you go in today and you're just seeing all the scores, right? A lot of shocking upsets we're going to talk about. We'll break it down, but there's a lot of stuff to go over. Some big time wins for some programs, and there's some. The biggest storyline for me, Grant, from just my initial reaction to all the scores that are coming in, is a lot of teams you don't really know about that are undefeated right now, 5-0. Like we talked about before, like we started. North Iberville is playing their first varsity season in 20 years, like a long time. And they're 5-0. So it's like, oh, this is varsity football. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing. It's pretty easy, starting 5-0. So they start 5-0. Everybody's talking about Harlan Berry at St. Martin's, right? The number 1 player in the country. And Pope John Paul was like, hey, we're going to ruin your parade And Pope John Paul not only defeated St. Martin's, but they're undefeated right now. You don't really talk about Pope John Paul that much, but you look at them, they're 5-0. And I mean, there's a lot of teams right now, Grant, that we don't really talk about that much. Covenant Christian, they're 5-0. So there's a lot of programs that we don't really talk about, and they're 5-0. And on the other side of the fence, there's some programs that are big brand names, teams that compete for state championships or expected to compete for state championships, and right now they're struggling. I mean, I don't want to start another rant, but Evangel, lost again tonight. So they're 1-4. They lost the Huntington, and then you go and look at St. Charles Catholic. What's going on at St. Charles Catholic?
Yeah,
0-5. This is a team that's went to 5 state championship games with their seniors, and they've won a whole lot with Wayne Stein. I mean, he's been to the state championship game every year as the head coach of St. Charles Catholic. So, and then you're going to talk about it because you're familiar with it, Grant. But the Catholic League right now, I mean, everybody's penciling in Rommel as like, oh, they're the number 2 team in the Catholic League, and guess what happens? They lose to Brother Martin, who lost to Jesuit, and we talked about Jesuit. Oh, they're starting to get on the roll now. Couple wins in a row, and then they lose to Holy Cross that's been struggling this year. So you still got Endicott and Easton tomorrow, so that should be interesting how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
But what a wild night it's been, Grant, and I'm sure you're going to go more into it and talk about it, but it just gets wilder and wilder here in Louisiana high school football.
So I know you're trying to do with that Evangel stuff. I knew what you're trying to do. Not tonight. I already did it before the show. Oh, by the way, Emil Picarella. I'm not sure if this is the. Okay, can you clarify if this is Emil Picarella Sr. or Emil Picarella Jr.? Somebody please clarify. But anyway, yes, St. Charles Catholic is injured a lot. I mean, the running back, running back, Sicala Edwards is up. I think is out for the. I think it's off. Oh, okay, it's the dad. Yeah, okay. So what's up, Mr. Picarella? But anyway, yes.
Congrats on the win. I know I talked to Mr. Emil as well.
Yeah,
so
yes, yeah.
Congrats on the win. Cubs got the dub. So
yes, sir. But yes. Go back. Yeah, St. Charles Catholic is dealing with some injuries, of course, including with the running back Skylar Edwards, who I believe is out for the year. And they're also a very young team. I mean, they actually played. Ironically, they played a very young team in St. James. However, but they're not dealing with injuries, right? And the Comets are. And so right now they're 0-4. Well, they're not 0-5, they're 0-4. But they play Terrebonne next week. They might be 0-5.
Yeah, they got Terrebonne.
I mean, it's a very drastic situation going on in St. Charles Catholic. Evangel isn't just as good. I would say this: the talent is there. They have a lot of talented players. I've said this before. Evangel is basically the St. Aug of Shreveport or North Louisiana in general. Because, St. Aug's good now, right? St. Aug, I mean, obviously you have a new head coach like Robert Valdez. He's done a great job over at St. Aug for the Purple Knights. I mean, you can see why he's highly regarded across the state as a guy who's gone to every single place and has literally won at every single place. You're seeing that at St. Aug right now, and they have a hell of a shot to beat Carter tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it's going to be a very close game. I'm very excited about it. I'm going to be at the game, so you're going to have a lot of coverage for that game. But Evangel, in a sense, is like St. Aug, that they have a lot of talent, but the culture is not there. The culture that they have tradition. They've won a lot of state championships. I believe they're second in they're second or third, because I know Haynesville has won a lot.
Yeah, you got Haynesville.
Yeah, I think they're third. They're third. Yeah, but they're in the top 3 in state championships won. But the issue with Evangel is that I just feel like there's not a culture. There's tradition. You got the talent. You got the facilities. But there's not a set in stone culture. And what I mean by that is, like, you have all these players. Yeah, it's the same. It's been the same result for the past 3 years. Evangel, and I get it that they're a lot better than they were 5 years ago, because I think
they're coming from a rough situation.
Like, weren't they like 0-10 and 0-10?
They didn't have many kids dressing that light. It was a rough situation. And like I remember just starting working for Louisiana Football Magazine. They won a state championship. So they're
Yeah.
coming off a state championship, but ever since that time, it's been tough. It's been a uphill climb really for Evangel since then.
Yeah. And it's just a tough situation over there. I mean, and I'm not sure. Maybe does Coach Denny need to step down? Like, what's the issue with Evangel? And it's not me. I know I'm probably called a hater. Jason's called me a hater. Evangel. It's not true. I'm just telling it like it is. Like, they need a culture. They just need a complete culture change over there. And I said this to you, Jace, before the show. And I'm a pretty big WWE guy. I love WWE. I actually did watch the Mr. McMahon documentary, which was a lot of stuff I already knew about, but there was some stuff I did not know about. And it was an overall very good documentary. I felt like they didn't pull punches, which was good. And it was a really good documentary. If you're not, I mean, the documentary is more for like, people that weren't really WWE fans. Because obviously, if you're a WWE fan, you knew what's going on. But if you weren't, it was a good thing. I think it was just a good all-around documentary. But anyway, going back to what I was saying about Evangel. Evangel is the John 3. You want to preach John 3:16. They want to thump their Bibles. They want to preach John 3:16. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a Christian, right? Or specifically a Catholic. I mean, I should go to church more, but I don't. But my thing is, you're going to thump your Bible and preach through John 3:16. Meanwhile, everybody else around you is preaching Austin 3:16. That's what's going on with Evangel right now. And nothing. They have to change that. They have to be the ones that are preaching. You can still preach John 3:16, but you also have to preach Austin 3:16, and that's what they need to. That's what they need to do. They need a complete culture chop. They need to completely reshape the culture because right now you have all this talent. You have Pops Houston. The whole word is that a lot of players are following Pops because what he's doing. He's got all the NIL stuff going on for him. Evangel's got the family faith football, family football documentary, which is probably just his recruiting tool, but it's not working well because they're still losing. So I mean, and maybe they need to stop doing the documentary because they're winning. They probably should because they're winning for it. So you just need a complete culture change because I want Evangel to be good because when Evangel is good, just like every other great program around the state, it makes everybody better. When Edna Carr joined the Catholic League, I really felt like everyone needed to take a step up because everyone knows how good Carr is. Look at what they've accomplished the last 10 years. Look at with St. Thomas More and Turley's Catholic. When they're both good at the same time, it's good for the Lafayette area. When Acadiana and Carrico are both really good, it's good for that area. When the best teams are really good, it's good for the area. It produces money, and right now, Evangel's not doing that. But anyway, like I said, there's a lot of shocking things. I mean, of course, St. Charles Catholic slow start. Carrico just picked up their first win of the year.
Yeah. How about St. Thomas More? I mean, bouncing back in a big way over Westgate. I know Westgate doesn't have Jabari Antoine, but still, there's a lot of really good athletes on that team. You've been struggling on offense. For them to score 41, I believe, in the first half was huge. Huge step forward in the right direction for St. Thomas More. And you know that the has woken up from his cave right now. So it looks like that the St. Thomas More Cougars aren't hibernating anymore. They're awake, and when you wake up the beast, it's going to be tough. So it's going to be tough moving forward. I think St. Thomas More finally woke up, and it's going to be dangerous. Like, this is the type of team they're going to be. There's just too much talent. There's just too many coaches over there that can figure it out. So this is a huge win for St. Thomas More as well, and they're going to be dangerous down the stretch now since they were able to put together a performance like that.
Yeah, no doubt. And also, I want to mention this too. This is the first thing Emil Senior actually put out. And how did JFK only score 7 in the air? Well, for starters, I'm gonna say this, but for one, they played. This is their 5th straight 5A opponent. They're just tired, right? And they're playing on a short week too, right? You also got to think about that. They're playing on a short week. It's the second. I think it's the second Thursday game in the last 3 weeks. So I mean, it's a lot of football to be played in a short period of time, especially when you have 2 straight short weeks. But then also there's all the distractions going on. Of course, if you're not familiar with what's going on at JFK, it was just announced that JFK had to forfeit their first 3 wins of the season due to I think it was some player ineligibility issues and a lot. And the thing is, the guy who runs 14-0 Productions actually tweeted out. He actually responded. Oh no, because I replied to the tweet he was put out of him quote tweeting my tweet, and because he was saying because this is a huge issue in regards to New Orleans schools. And it's not even just the public schools. Of course, we know about Warren Easton and we know about Carver, how they had to end their seasons early because of Ellis, because they're in trouble with the LSCA. But Brother Martin's gotten in trouble. In the past, like we were talking about this, like they had some play eligibility issues. To the point where they had to forfeit, I think, the first 5 games of the year, and that ultimately cost them a second straight Catholic League title. I think Rummel got in trouble, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they did. They did 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was 1 year where a lot of the Catholic League schools were put on probation because a lot of them were recruiting and slid out. It's I mean, I'm not sure if we're just New Orleans schools is not good at cheating. I guess not usually but everyone cheats, bro. Like I mean,
it's what you hide it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah,
my mom used to teach at West, because I think I've told you, my mom used to teach at West Monroe back when West Monroe was in their heyday. It's like 98, and she would tell me that they did all kinds of stuff to cheat. I mean, the typical mailbox was put the mailbox here, say this is the address, or they'll hire their parents to come work for business in West Monroe and stuff like that. It's stuff like that. I think the issues New Orleans were just not good. I think just not good at cheating. I really think that's so many teams in New Orleans get busted. I'm like, bro, how hard? I mean, come on, man. It's really not that hard. But the only school outside New Orleans I know that got caught badly was Catholic. But Dave Fertitta, guess where he's from?
Yeah,
he's from New Orleans. I mean,
you're right.
We're just good at cheating, man.
That's something that New Orleans hasn't figured out. That's for sure. But in response to the 7-0 deal, I'm with you, Grant. I mean, even for 3A, 4A numbers, they're not that big in terms of numbers. I mean, I just kind of realized that too when the Sandmall game. Now, the guys that do have are legit. They're all good. But you could tell getting on the streak when playing all these 5A teams, some on short weeks, some not over short weeks, but still to play those type of teams, it's going to take a toll on you, and it did. I mean, we figured that was going to be the case as well against St. Paul's, and that proved to be a factor too, going to 5A. But yeah, I mean, right now you're just tired. I mean, you play John Ehret again in a short week, and like you said, all the stuff that happened, the news that broke out, and that's obviously going to change a lot of things too, with PowerPoints and all of that, because I mean, all the momentum, this season pretty much flipped upside down really for John F. Kennedy, and the way it started, getting a couple big wins. I mean, you're able to beat Warren Easton, you're able to beat Sam All on the road, and that was a great game that we were able to cover. We were actually there for, and to pretty much lose all that momentum too. It's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back from this, because it's not like when your Brother Martin, your Rumble, you're more of a established, right? Even though JFK's made the quarterfinals the last couple of years, they're still establishing themselves as a program, and for them to have that setback, it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that and how they respond to that moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's just a tough situation to deal with. I mean, of course, Warren Easton kind of deal with something similar last year, although theirs is more drastic, of course, because obviously they were banned from the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And so basically, but you didn't really have to play for anything, right? In a sense, because your season was basically, you just had to play the regular season. You had to worry about the Expectations State Championship, so they came out balling. But then they found out that they had a player ineligible, and then, well, that whole thing was a mess. I don't even want to talk about it because it was just such a mess, man.
So now JFK is 0-4?
They're 1-4, so their win against Eric counts because the investigation started 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So I think the stuff came down the same week the Eric game happened, but like it's not going to affect the Eric game, like because they were investigating. I think they started investigating like a couple weeks ago. Because I think so. Yeah, I know that. But anyway, I'm looking at Nate Shepard highlights. That dude's really good, man.
I mean, what was the stat line again? We scored 6 touchdowns.
He scored 6 touchdowns. Yeah, I don't know.
He scored what?
24 touchdowns in this month of September. Yes,
that is ridiculous. So like,
yeah, it's ridiculous. Lucas Hill, bro,
touchdowns. He's on pace for.
I don't know, bro. It's wild. Well, but anyway, Lucas Hill, good friend of us.
Yeah.
Central alum. Central, of course, is 5-0.
Looking good. Yeah, 5-0.
In 2 weeks, you got a big game against 2-3 weeks. You got the big game versus Cap.
So the Lucas Hill and Jace Lejeune Bowl.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but I watched some of those highlights from that game, Grant, and LCA hung in there, which major kudos to them considering how this week happened. You know, losing your head coach in the middle of the week.
Well, they were pretty happy about it, from what I heard.
Yeah, but still, it's a transition. You know,
yeah,
it's just trying to transition to that.
Yeah, well, that's the part of the problem is that when you actually have something to play for, you play tougher, right? And that was kind of the issue. Like it, and I mean, I'm not going to go too much into detail what happened, but from what I've heard, it just, there's a lot of stuff that happened where the players did not want to start playing for the coach anymore, and that's kind of what happens when you lose a team. And and look, I mean, I get it that they're kids, and obviously kids are gonna do some things that because they're kids, they're 15, 16 years old, or 17 years old. But when you have to do the amount of things you have to do for the players to cheer when a coach gets fired, lets me know everything that there is about the coach. And that's kind of the unfortunate issue with LCA. They're firing of Zach Lockhart. I mean, that's just a bad situation overall. I'm not going to go too much into detail what happened there, but that's not a good thing when you literally have teenage boys literally cheering that their coach got fired.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
It's that, that to a point, you lose your team. It's tough. It's tough when you lose your team and you can't go anywhere. Like you lose control of your team. It's tough. So yeah, but like they're able to play hard. I think it was 24-22.
Yeah. 31-22.
I was going to explain. It was 24-22 towards the end.
Okay.
And then Central was able to get that touchdown. Like LCA was going to stop the clock, and Central scored a touchdown and put it on ice. But it was really like 24-22. They just got a late score when they could have ran the clock out. So it was one of those situations. So I mean, kudos for them. With the two coaches dealing with that situation and going on the road, knowing you had to play Central on the road. That was an undefeated team. So kudos to them. But yeah, Central has been red hot. Let's not take anything away from Central right now. I mean, 5-0. They're really rolling. And man, that Catholic Central game is going to be, that's going to be a good one to watch. That is for sure.
Hey, not only is it going to be the Lucas Hill and Jace Lejeune Bowl, it's also going to be the Lieber King Bowl.
It's going to be the Lieber King Jace Lejeune Bowl. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, of course, Lieber King was our former boss.
Yeah.
Jace was his right-hand man, and then nice to see Jace as Lee's right-hand man. And then we both joined together, got our football and made magic. Yep. Hell yeah, baby. All right, but anyway, guys, if you're listening up, if you're watching the stream right now, don't be afraid to leave comments. We'll answer them gladly, like we've been doing the past 10 to 15 minutes. We'd like to enjoy your feedback, about the show. You have any questions about any of the games today or any of the teams? Or if if you just want to talk, it could be anything. Well, me and Jace will answer. This is what this is for. It's fan interaction. And I think it's a way. Not only will you learn, but also you might say something that we may not know about, and we learn something as well. So feel free to leave comments, just like Emil Picarella Sr. Shout out Mr. Picarella.
Yeah, big win.
Big win for Emil Jr. and the Cubs. And then, of course, Lucas Hill, good friend Lucas Hill. Hey, where's the podcast going to come out, bro? Hey, when's it going to come out? I'm still waiting, bro. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking, Lucas. But if you're watching so right now. But anyway, but yeah, let's go get into it with the scoreboard.
We got to some scores.
We got to do some scores, of course, and Jace. Also, before we get into it, I know you didn't call the game as you're at Jules Sumner, the Jules Sumner Franklinton game with me,
right?
But what did you find out anything about the Episcopal?
Yeah, so it was a gritty defensive performance based off what I've heard. I was able to kind of tune in and out a lot of times, but it was back and forth. I mean, defensively, like both Episcopal, like a big stream for this Episcopal team is their defense, and both Chase Crescent and Will Rebus, I heard, were all over the field for Episcopal, and then for Ascension Catholic, they were able to do the same thing. Pretty much kind of slow down Reed Chauvin, force Episcopal to throw the football, and that's not where Episcopal wants to be, right? But it was a defensive game. Both offenses scored. I mean, both running backs, Gridiron Football Bowl game commits for us, Reed Chauvin and Chad Elzy, both scored touchdowns. And it was tied at 7, like going into the fourth quarter. And I believe it was 4th down. And Camille LaBeouf threw a deep pass to Chad Elzy, and it was great coverage. And Elzy came up with the acrobatic play to haul that one in, and he was able to score and give Ascension Catholic a 14-7 lead. Brody Bailey was in the game late. I still got to talk to Coach about what the situation with that is, but basically Brody Bailey came in late. And they had a Hail Mary attempt, I think, around the 30, 35-yard line around that time. And he was sacked on the play. And that got Ascension Catholic the win. And as immediately as that happened, I saw Lowell Northeast pretty much at, like, midfield, like, probably 0.2 seconds after that play ended. It was crazy seeing Lowell Northeast out there at midfield celebrating with his guys. So a huge win for Ascension Catholic, especially after a disappointing loss the week before to Dunham. And you can say the first big marquee win for Lowell Northeast. So congratulations on Coach Northeast on that win. Anytime now, Episcopal, I think all the time has controlled, like, there's always been close games between the two. So, but I think Episcopal has dominated like the win-loss record. So for Ascension Catholic to get this win over Episcopal is huge. Big win for Lowell Northeast and this Bulldogs football team that's going to get a lot of confidence moving forward. But from what I've heard, it was a great football game for both teams and a well-played game. And Ascension Catholic just made the more plays at the end to get that win.
Yeah, and also want to mention too, he was quite emotional during the post.
He was. I heard that too. He was pretty emotional as well.
So because it was the same week. So in the same week, I guess he was celebrating the anniversary of his father's passing, the senior, and then also his mom died, not in the same week, but like in the kind of the same time frame a few years later. So it's the anniversary of both his mom and his dad's death. One of his former players, from when he coached at Columbus High School, Texas, he died. And then I believe that one of the players is such a Catholic. I think one of the players, their grandfather died. So it's just an emotional week for that such a Catholic program. And congrats, of course, to Coach Narcisse for picking up his first signature win. At such a Catholic, especially against a Episcopal team that is a very solid program. It's been a solid program a long time under Coach Bourgeois, and and last year the Knights got the better of the Bulldogs, but this year it's a little different. And right now, Central Catholic's going to be a hot name come playoff time because and their one loss was a come from behind victory for them. So I mean, if you're looking at you're looking at a 65-yard touchdown run by Elijah Haven from being 5-0. I mean, that's the way you have to
anytime you have what they call him Poppy, that's like his nickname. Anytime you have Poppy back there, Ascension Catholic always has a chance to win. But I'm impressed by their defense. You mentioned them playing Elijah Haven and Dunham. Like Ascension Catholic's defense, besides maybe 2 plays, really held Elijah Haven in check. This is a really good defense. Camilla Buff's a talented quarterback, and they can throw the ball when they need to. And I think that was also the difference in that Episcopal game was that they're able to get a little bit more out of the passing game from them to really help them out and just help move the football a little bit better than Episcopal, which was the case. So this is a team that's going to be dangerous once it's Camille Buff's confidence continues to improve, and the passing game continues to improve, and you always have Chad Elzy out there in the backfield to hand the ball off, to throw the ball to. Their defense pretty solid. This is a young, Lowell Northeast is a young head coach, but he's a bright young mind. So they definitely have a chance moving forward, and they're going to be a dangerous team moving forward. That is for sure.
Yes, and so let's go over the scores, Jace, and of course, I want to promote this. This is Crescent City Sports, the Crescent City Sports website, where you can find my articles as well. That's where I write for. And also, they got a lot of great stuff, including prep sports, but the Saints, Pelicans, LSU, Tulane, UNL. And they got some other stuff in there as well. Some really good stuff in there. But this is our prep football scoreboard that we do over there. Jude Young does a great job trying to update the games constantly. I mean, it's a hard thing to do when you consider the amount of football games that are being played all across the state in one weekend, and trying to stay on top of it, including on a Friday night. Not only trying to look up updates to put it on the website, but he's also got to keep in mind this. He's also doing a radio show as well. So he's kind of multitasking while trying to do this. So shout out to Jude Young for the fantastic work he does for this website, and also makes Ken Trahan's job a little bit easier. Ken does a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff where he might need some help with, because he does a lot of stuff, Jason. I mean, not only is he
I know that
sports, but he's also the president. He's the president of the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame. He's the I think he's the president of the Great New Orleans quarterback. He does a lot of stuff. Ken's an animal, guys. So he does a lot of good stuff, but that's what makes him Ken Trahan. That's why he's one of the best around. But anyway, let's go over the scores. North Central 36, Birchman's Academy 26, Haynes 44, Ben Franklin 7. I think Haynes Academy's undefeated too. That's been a shocking start of the season. Speaking of shocking starts, a good bit of them are in the New Orleans area, of course. Because you got Covenant Christian Academies 5-0, Pope John Paul II 5-0. So it's a lot of shocking starts of the season, not only across the state but in the New Orleans area. Tioga beats Gina 65-26.
Wow.
Loranger beat St. Helena 28-0. St. Michael de Archangel beat Broadmoor 48-8. Jennings defeats DeRitter 42-21. Franklinton, Franklinton, the game we were at last night. Franklinton beat Joe Sumner 42-39 overtime. Great game, probably the best game I've been to all year.
Either that or Sam Mall and JFK.
I still think that Franklin was. You got to think about this too. It's like, that Santa Monica game was a great game too, but I felt like, just like it was all time very sloppy game. This is the most complete. Franklin and Joe was a complete football game. There's not a whole lot of penalties. It was just two good teams with a lot of talent going at each other. Franklinton. These are probably two of the most slept-on teams, in my opinion, in the New Orleans area. And that's because they're intangible. Joel Sumner's in Tangible Parish, and they're in Kentwood. So you got to think about this. When we think of Kentwood, we think of the Kentwood High School Kangaroos, which is one of the top programs in the state. They've won 8 state championships. I mean, and they deserve to be in that competition, rightfully so. Look at their history. But Joe Sumner, on the other hand, is kind of like the redheaded stepchild of Kentwood. But they've had the last couple of years they've had some pretty good teams, and then this year they're 4-0 going in that game. Brinkman, on the other hand, Brinkman had a lot of success in the 2010s, but it's kind of faded off a little bit. They bring in Nick Sottoformaggio. Last year they got 3-7, so people are writing them off. However, they've had a strong start to the season. They beat Amy and they beat Pine. They beat some pretty good teams.
3 ranked teams they've beaten. And their only loss right now is
Covington.
It's Covington, and they're undefeated 5A team. So I mean, people got to start talking about Franklinton for sure.
And then Franklinton's also
always told us that to start talking about the Demons.
Yeah, and I mean they're also in the northeastern part of southeast Louisiana. Like to put that in perspective, they're basically Mississippi. Like they're in Washington Parish, which is way up there too. So you got to put that in perspective. But unless that's the thing, unless they're good, they're not going to get talked about, and that's kind of what that's what kind of Coach Saul was kind of alluding to,
right?
Anyway. But anyway, let's go. Keep going with the scores. Paul Chase 12, West Shep 0, Aberson 31, Crescent City 0. Ponchatoula beat Independence 45-21. Lakeshore managed to squeak out a win over Salmon 31-26. JFK beat John Eric 7-0. Sam Houston escaped a close upset bid against Lafayette, winning 41-34. Mandeville beat Dorshore 42-0. Nate Shepard, don't have to explain too much there.
Yeah,
I think he had six. He had a lot of touchdowns. That's all you need to know. Yep. Parkway beat C. Bird 46-35. Central Catholic beat Central Lafourche 31-21. Pearl River beat Chalmette 14-7. That's a pretty big win for the Rebels.
Yeah, it is.
Covington beat Fontainebleau 48-0. Southside beat Barb 31-14. Yeah. Walker beat Prairieville 39-6. Sacred Heart beat Westminster Christian beat Sacred Heart 31-24. Block beat Ringgold 54-6. Delta Charter beat Cedar Creek 38-20. Oak Grove beat Delhi Charter 57-12. DeQuincy beat Grand Lake 10-7. Central Catholic, as we mentioned earlier, beat Episcopal 14-7. Union Parish defeats Homer 49-14. Pretty shocking result right there. Northwest beat Pine Prairie 54-7. Buckeye beat Holy Savior Bernard 27-20. Crowley beat Mamou. Is it Mamou?
Yeah, Mamou. Yep.
36-28. Amy beat
Kenwood. Classic.
28-25. Jace, actually, want to break this game down a little bit. I need to go to the restroom. I know you're familiar with both teams, and go off.
Yeah, I mean, and guys, I guess it's an opportunity to talk a little bit about Gridiron football as well, guys. So we have a lot of great high school content for GridironFootballUSA.com. I'm actually coming back from U High and St. Paul's. So I'm coming back from that game. U High was able to get a 29-12 win. I'll have more about that game on our website at GridironFootballUSA.com by the time I wake up tomorrow morning. Y'all, I guess it's probably tomorrow morning, a couple minutes, but by the time I wake up tomorrow morning, y'all be able to see that article on our website. And we've got a lot of great coverage from a lot of our interns, a lot of our writers all across the state. So just letting you know, we'll have coverage from the following games, some post-game coverage. So we'll have highlights on our YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe to the Gridiron Football YouTube channel too. And we got plenty of coverage from that end as well. So I have U High and St. Paul's. So that's going to be one game we're going to definitely be talking about. I know St. Edmund was able to get a big win too. So we got like 6 or 7 grand. We got about 6 or 7 games like from our interns that we're going to be covering and have highlights, game recaps, interviews with coaches and players. So you can check all of that stuff at GridironFootballUSA.com. But Amy and Kentwood, I mean, that was a great rivalry between the two teams. And, like, it's always close. I covered this game last year, and it came down like it was a controversial goal line stand. That's what it came down to. So anytime I bring Amy and Kenwood together, like I told you when we previewed the game, it's a coin flip. I think I ended up picking Amy to win that game, but it's a coin flip and it can go either way. And Amy was able to get the just a little bit of the better edge on of Kentwood.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just classic game between two powerhouse programs and Tangipahoa Parish. I mean, when you think of Tangipahoa Parish football, you think of these two teams, of course, with the amount of great players have come out of both programs and the amount of state championships both teams have won. But anyway, Leesville beat Benton 48-28. Northwood Lena beat Tensas, 52-0. And St. Edmund picks up a huge victory. Opelousas Catholic, shout out to Coach Shiver in the big win over a very talented Opelousas Catholic team. These two idiots picked Opelousas Catholic to win. So
hey, it's reverse psychology. I was making sure that Coach Shiver.
Here we go. I picked Catholic High. I picked Catholic High to lose so I could jinx them to win. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's a strategy, Grant.
Oh, my God. All right, yeah. How about this? We're idiots. We picked the wrong team. So we're sorry, Coach Shiver. But anyway, you guys are off to a hot start. I mean, St. Edmund's looking really good.
Alex will have coverage for that game. If anybody wants to know more about what happened there, Alex will have coverage for that on GridironFootballUSA.com.
Yes.
And we'll also have coverage of the next game you're about the score you're about to talk about too. We'll have some post-game coverage from Daryl as well. We cover the next game you're going to talk about.
Yeah, we're talking about Vermilion Catholic Riverside.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. So Vermilion Catholic defeats Riverside 49-34. Kind of what we expected, a very high-scoring game. But
having touchdowns for John D'Artes tonight.
Right. Yeah, John D'Artes doing John D'Artes things. That's what we expect of him. And that's why he's one of the more dynamic players in this state. I mean, he's probably, and he's been a 4-year starter for them. And he's got a lot to prove. I mean, his sophomore year, they lost in the Dome to a talented Walsall Christian team that had a lot of talent. And then last year they lost to Riverside Academy.
Yeah.
In the rain, 34-7. It was not the result that a team like Vermilion Catholic wanted, especially given that they're the number 1 seed last year. Yeah. So they get a huge revenge victory over a Riverside team that embarrassed in the semifinals. It's a big win for the program moving forward, and I think they will be the number 1. They should be the number 1 seed. I know it's kind of early, but they're looking like the top seed for Division 4 Select, which is looking very, very solid so far. Yeah. Speaking of winning Division 4 Select, St. Fred's beats Mary's 50-0. Huge shutout victory for St. Fred's, and I think St. Mary's is struggling too a little bit, but St. Fred's is off to continue their hot start to the year. West St. John defeats East Iberville 52-32. Elton beat Hanson Memorial 46-14. Glenbrook beat Plain Dealing 63-0. Jeanneret defeats West St. Mary 54-8. Jonesboro Hodge defeats Arcadia 16-14. Centerville Gidan got it.
Oh, Gaydon.
Jace,
you froze for a second, but it's Gaydon. Gaydon. Yep.
Okay. Covenant Christian defeats St. John 47-26. They're improved to 5-0. A hot start for the Covenant Christian Lions, and I think they're speaking of Division 4 Select. That's another team that people need to watch out for moving forward. Yeah. Slaughter Community Charter defeats Northeast 56-0. Washoe Christian defeats Rayville 45-8. LaSalle beats Pickering 53-6. Pope John Paul II defeats Harlem Berry and St. Mark's Episcopal 20-21. Shocking result. John Paul's up to a 5-0 start. Jace, what you got to say about this game? I know Andy was there. I'm not sure.
Andy was at the game. I know Andy was out there, and Andy's the CEO, founder of Gridiron Football. He went out to check that and picked a pretty good game to do so. Everybody was talking about Harlem Berry, deservedly so, the number 1 running back in the country. They're coming in, I believe, undefeated too. So this was a big showdown, and you can say, Grant, this is the biggest win in program history for Pope John Paul II. So a huge win for Coach Pygott and Pope John Paul. I know Miss Easton taught the DJ Jenkins mom as well. He's playing at Pope John Paul, and that's great as well. So big win for Pope John Paul, Coach Pygott. I mean, really the whole team. Anytime you can be a team like St. Martin's, especially with a player like Harlan Berry, man, that's huge. And now we got to start talking about like I opened the show with. You got to start talking about Pope John Paul II and Grant. Like we said at the beginning of the show, there's going to be some teams that we don't really talk about that often, but they should get their praises, and we should give them some praise. And right now, that's definitely a team that we should give them some praise.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, this is a team that, I've kind of kept my tabs on because I know they're improving over time.
Yeah, they have.
What they've done the last couple of years. So shocker that it's no shocker that they were able to. I mean, I would say it's a little bit of shocker they'd be seeing Martin's Episcopal, but it's going to be a matter of time before they got their signature win, and they have to be tonight. By the way, Under the Lights. Shout out to Under the Lights. And,
We
need to have him on the show. We need
absolutely.
Have him on the show, definitely. So we'll plan something out in the future. I gotta find the right schedule, but we're gonna have him on the show, and hopefully we'll be on his as well. Do a little joint thing,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm glad to do that. He does a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, does a lot of great stuff with Under the Lights.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff. A lot of he's mostly based out of Southwest Louisiana, so he does a lot of stuff out there. I know he travels soon. I mean, like he said, he's headed back from Logansport, so he went all the way up to Logansport to go watch some football.
Yeah.
So thanks for checking in on us tonight, and to have we support we like what you do over there, and I'm glad he likes what we do. So
sure,
it's awesome. Sure. Yeah, but anyway, so we try. That's the thing. Like we try to do our best and cover high school football across the state. Like Crescent Sports, Gridiron Football, Rougarou Sports Media, which it's just a whole 9 yards. It's a lot of great football being played tonight. Oh, by the way, and that's the game we're actually talking about. North Iberville 30, Benton 8. North Iberville improves to 5-0.
And varsity football is not hard.
Yeah, exactly. Such a Christian defeats Homa Christian 48-19. Kinder defeats Logansport 26-12, which is the game. The underdog again. The guy, Jordan from Under the Lights was covering tonight. Huge win for for Kinder, defeating a pretty good Logansport team. This has always been a very solid program for a pretty long time. Lake Arthur defeats Rose Pine 46-0. What's up?
The Fighting Hayes Fawcett's.
Oh yeah, Hayes Fawcett. Hey! Hayes Fawcett is not more famous than Andy Bryson. Shut up.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that's where he went to school.
He did go to school there, but so did Andy Bryson.
Oh yeah, but we haven't hit Rose Pond yet.
Oh my god! Andy, you fire him, please. Fire him tomorrow. Fire him before he gets on the plane. That's a link. That's a link.
I could always leave, Grant. Bye.
No, fine. Lakeside defeats Montgomery 26-22. Mangum defeats Madison 56-18. Mansfield defeats North Cato 52-44. Westminster Christian Lafayette defeats East Beauregard 34-6. Darwin Woods defeats Green Oaks 38-26. Docum. 34. I'm from South Louisiana. I still get these names wrong, man. That's incredible. 34-0 over Highland Baptist. Is it Vidalia or Vidalia?
Vidalia.
Yeah, I was right the first. Vidalia defeats Delhi 55-40. Basil defeats Brazil 20-11.
It's a rough stretch for you, Grant.
Dude, it's been 5 weeks, bro. Like I think at this point it's become a running gag. I'm just gonna get somebody's name. There's somebody else I felt like, I got it right. They're like, shoot. Boyles defeats Lakeview 44-0. Dunham defeats Baker 55-7. Faraday defeats Beekman Charter 32-6. Calvary Baptist 49-0. Eastville defeats Capital 45-0. Country Day defeats Patrick Taylor 20-0. Patrick Taylor, they're 0-5 to start the year. That's kind of shocking in my opinion. Just got hot after having the great year they had last year.
Mhm.
I was thinking that having tough starts. I think that's one that not a whole lot of people are talking about, given what they've done the last 2 years. Franklin defeats Patterson 30-8. Pine defeats Barnard 44-0. South Beauregard defeats Port Bear 49-15. Springfield defeats Central Private 19-15. Marksville defeats Oakdale 30-6. Garrison High School of Texas defeats North Webster 35-14. Downtonville defeats White Castle 27-8. Erath defeats Westlake in a 1-point game.
Yeah.
21-20.
Lake Charles area. That actually is a really big game.
Yeah. Erath, speaking of improved, Erath has greatly improved. It's also because they're healthier too as well.
Yeah.
Sarah T. Reed defeats Fisher 40-14. Port Allen defeats Glen Oaks 24-10. Kaplan defeats Laurelville 40-18. Catholic New Iberia picks up another huge win over Lake Charles College Prep 38-27. Livingston defeats South Platte 26-9. That's a pretty big win for the Wolfpack. To beat us. South Plaque's a pretty good team, man. Like they're one of the more underrated teams out of the New Orleans area. Madison Prep defeats Parkview Baptist 54-31. Huge victory for the Chargers after having a rough start to the year.
They're getting together. The last 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, they've been getting together. So watch 100%. Out.
Yeah. Berwick defeats Thrive Academy 53-6. Funky defeats Winfield 50-14.
Undefeated still.
Iota defeats Church Point 23-19. Helix Mentorship Academy defeats Collegiate Baton Rouge 20-0. General Trust defeats Bastion 12-6. That's a huge upset right there.
That is.
Bastion's been one of the harder teams in the state. I mean, they've had a very impressive start of the season, and it's shocked a lot of people. And that's what happens when you bring in a couple of really good players in the Downs brothers. The head coach has done a great job, despite all the circumstances around Bastrop. Because Bastrop used to be a great program that fell off. It's hard to kind of rebuild those programs that fell off for a very long time. So, but overall,
General Trask has been a team that's made the semifinals and has been really knocking on the doorstep a couple years ago, going to the state championship. So, shows that there's still a good program up there too.
Oh yeah, St. Thomas More gets a huge bounce back victory over Westgate 40-6. Yeah. Huge victory for the Cougars after having such a tough start to the year. Just 1-3 start to the year was not the year that St. Thomas More was really looking forward to.
2-3 sounds much better than 1-4.
And I know Westgate didn't have Jabari Antoine, but it's still a big bounce back win for the Cougars. The Willow School defeats ML King Charter 25-20. West Wachita defeats Caldwell Parish 55-13.
Also had a pretty good start to the season.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Waspin defeats Carroll 20-15. Albany defeats Jefferson Rise 50-24. Ascension Episcopal defeats North Vermilion 50-18. Rain defeats Northside 55-32. Northwest Shreveport defeats Woodlawn Shreveport 40-22. Plaquemine defeats Westfall 40-21. And a huge district battle going on in the Baton Rouge area. St. James defeats St. Charles 15-11. Something we talked about a little bit at the beginning of the show, with St. Charles struggling early in the season. Lutcher defeats Vanderbilt Catholic 33-0.
You were at that game.
I was at the game, and James, I can tell you this right now. At halftime, it was 20-0. Lutcher outgained Vanderbilt Catholic 214-24.
Yeah, Lutcher's defense is for real. And, it's not like they were playing any slouch team on the other side. I mean, Jalen Coleman is as good as it gets in the state of Louisiana, which is loaded with running backs this year. And it's so loaded, Grant, that Trenton Cheney, who doesn't – for Lutcher, right?
Yeah.
He's on the show tonight for the Bulldogs. So, I'm not shocked. I picked Lutcher to win, and we were talking about it, so I'm not shocked that Lutcher won. But the fashion that they won – 33-0. Yeah, that is a little bit eye-opening to me. So.
Oh yeah, so that's a huge victory in district play, and that Lutcher Edie White game.
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
probably going to determine the district title right there.
Yep,
For
absolutely.
sure. But Tara defeats McKinley 8-0. Iowa defeats St. Louis Catholic 55
That was pretty
54
good.
to 8.
Yeah, Jonathan Walker was our player of the week last week, and they got some good Cohen Charles, I believe, a receiver. Iowa's really good. They won. I think they won district, won 9 games last year. Like, yeah, I mean, we got to start talking about Iowa because they've always been a dangerous team, and they're looking pretty good right now too.
Yeah, Estrella defeats LB Landry 40-6. Lagrange defeats Abbeville 36-21. Catholic Point Capee defeats Livonia 42-34.
Came all the way back too. I think they were down big against Livonia. Like it was like 26-0 or something like that, and they came all the way back to win that game. I'm not sure how Catholic Point Capee was able to get in that hole in the first place, but they were able to crawl back out of it and they're able to get a big win.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. I mean, that's a huge victory for the Hornets. And I know Livonia hasn't been the great has been looking really hot as of late this season, but that's still a big time victory over for Catholic Point Capee to come back from down behind to your crosstown rivals, and then also not only that to remain undefeated. Right, that's the most important thing. And that Hornet team I knew was going to be very good at the end of the year. They're actually, when I first started writing for Crescent Sports, that was actually the very first article I wrote about. That was the very first team. So that's a hell of a way to start my time at Crescent Sports. But I was talking with Coach Caruth and talking about his team, and like I knew they were going to be pretty good. They're a team that to watch out for Division 4 select, and they're a team that can definitely if they get hot, they're definitely a team you should watch it for.
They are a sleeper in Division 4 select. That's for sure. Don't overlook those guys.
Oh yeah. Minden defeats Loyola Prep 28-13. Cecilia defeats Notre Dame 50-46. Huge win for the Bobcats. Well, they're the Bulldogs, right?
Well, they're the Bulldogs.
I don't know. I said Bulldogs. Hey! Look, here's the thing. It's almost midnight right now, and I'm gonna say I'm surprised I'm awake because I only got 2 hours of sleep last night. Shout out my dog Vicky for only allowing me to sleep 2 hours last night because she kept scratching my door. Yeah,
Diesel Solari comes back too for fans that are wondering. Sounds like he came back. So that's a big win for Cecilia. Get back on track. Never getting shut out last week.
Yeah, Turlings defeats. I knew they were the Bulldogs too. It's just. Dude, I'm just dude. I'm done. After the show, I'm gonna literally type up this article really fast, get it edited, send it to Jude to get published in the morning, and then go to sleep for I don't know how long, but I'm just gonna sleep like a baby.
Well, you're Saturday, LSU bye week.
Hey, I'm not gonna do that bye week for long because guess what? At 7, you got St. Augustine car, so I'm gonna be at that, and make sure to follow my Twitter for all the updates. Turlings Catholic defeats Como 48-14. That's a shocking victory right there. Edie White defeats South Lafourche 56-14. Welsh defeats Eunice 39-16. I was joking about the shocking result, guys.
I figured you were.
Yeah. Some people take it too literally. Yeah. Booker T. Washington defeats George Washington Carver 46-28. Bossier defeats Southwood. Southwood still looking for
that win.
Yeah, they're still they're getting close. They're getting close.
They're right there.
Yep. Dude, if they win next week, we're throwing a party, dude. Hey, North Lake Christian, party in my house, dude. No, there's no party in my house, but we'll do something. North Lake Christian defeats Bro Bridge 28-7. Archbishop Hannon defeats St. Thomas Aquinas 46-7. Archbishop Shaw defeats De La Salle 31-13. Assumption gets a huge bounce back victory over Morgan City, 55-7. Yeah, that's what happens. You get shut out 48-0 by Lutcher. You come back and beat Morgan City by almost 50 points. So
not the same type of score. Yep.
Yeah, except there's no shutout this time. But anyway, Lafayette Renaissance defeats Beauchain 55-7. They're at 5-0. So a hell of a way to start the season. Yeah. Hunter Landry and the Tigers have left at Renaissance.
I've seen them. I had to call a game where they scheduled J.S. Clark, and they're gonna be rolling. That's after seeing them.
Yeah, Burley defeats Bel Air 57-14. North Dakota, they only scraped by Booker T. Washington Shreveport.
Only 20-14 there. Yeah,
a lot of credit has to go to the lines of Booker T. Washington Shreveport. A lot of credit, for the hated against a very tough opponent like North Dakota, who a lot of people are thinking are going back to the Dome this year. After being a game away last year, and then also being the Dome in 2022.
Yep.
U High defeats St. Paul's 29-12. Jace, break this game down because you were there.
Yeah, so it was two of the better quarterbacks, you could say, in South Louisiana going against each other. But really, this game was about the defenses. I was really impressed by both defenses here, and really they got some scoring early on. Really, the only difference in the first half, it was 15-6 in the first half. Only difference was a fake punt that U High had, and they snapped it to Keelan Moses, which is a pretty good decision to snap the ball to on a fake punt. And Keelan Moses went all the way 67 yards for the touchdown. They got the 2-point conversion too, so they went up 8-0. And now St. Paul's immediately responded. They went right down the field, scored. Brendan Kime scored on a rushing touchdown and made it 8-6, but they missed the 2-point conversion. And then U High was able to get another touchdown then. But after that was the start of the game. After that, it was a struggle for both offenses. I mean, it was both teams punting the football. Majority was just basically trading punts in the first half and a little bit of the second half too. Now U High was probably moving the ball a little bit better. Now they had 3 turnovers in this football game, so U High probably could have won this game by even more. But they were able to get the win. The defense was very impressive. They're able to lean on the ground in game. Both Sage Ingram and Corbin Odell were kind of like the 1-2 punch. Sage Ingram was the guy that had like the big runs that really got them there, but it was Corbin Odell that had the 2 touchdown runs in this football game. And the biggest storyline from this game, Keelan Moses did get hurt in the third quarter. They put him in at running back, trying to make, this is when the game was still in doubt. It was still in the third quarter. And he injured his ankle. It looked like it was his ankle. He got helped up by trainers, and they brought the crutches out as well. So I did talk to Coach Martin after the game, and they said they want to take a look at it, and hopefully he's just hoping like everybody else, so all the Cubs fans, the players, the team, everybody, that is not too serious. So we'll probably get an update pretty soon about that. But for right now, it's he did not return to the game, and we'll see how impactful. Obviously, this is a big developing story because when you have one of the top players in the state of Louisiana for a team that has a chance to go to the state championship, we'll see how serious his injury is. But U High was able to get the win. They improved to 4-1. They got a 29-12 win over St. Paul's. St. Paul's falls to 3-2. But U High was able to get the win. They relied on their defense. It was a great performance. Their defense, their offensive line played really well tonight. They relied on the ground game. Not much. They didn't need Emil Picarella to throw it 30, 40 times tonight. They just did a great job of running the football, playing good defense, playing complementary football like that. And then that was pretty much the difference in tonight's game for the Cubs.
Yeah, no doubt, Jace. And by the way, look who popped up a comment. Vincent, man. Great.
Vincent,
That's great.
What's going on, Vincent?
Yeah, it's awesome, Vincent. I just saw this because I was reading off the scoreboard. I was writing some stuff down. I got some. I was writing down all my stats from the game tonight for Vanderbilt and Bletcher. That I will write the article as soon as we're done here. But anyway, always appreciate the show, guys. My loyal Flyers couldn't get done tonight.
Yeah,
Vincent,
they played Minden though. Minden 5-0. So
yeah,
they Crimson Tide's looking good. Yeah,
I haven't checked the comments a little bit, so I wanted to double check. So shout out Vincent. Vincent, of course, was he was kind of the what was his like? I know he was like the lead in communication. Like he was like the SAD.
Yeah.
For the LSA. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure the exact role for it, but I know he was like he was the guy. He was the guy you had to hit up for your credentials, Jace.
Oh
so.
yeah.
So shout out Vincent. Now he's the managing editor at Go Preps, where he's doing a great job creating content.
Yeah, a lot of great content from Go Preps.
So and he's doing a great job. So shout out Vincent. Thanks for giving us a shout out. We appreciate for all you've done during your time at the LCA, for helping us get credentials and make sure we're situated. And then now he's at Go Preps and doing a great job there, and make sure the website is running clean and smooth. Although I do disagree with some of the rankings for 5A, I'm just gonna admit it, but it's subjective. But always putting out great content. I always love going to Go Preps to see the stuff they do. I mean, of course, Crescent Sports, Gridiron Football, Go Preps, any site that tries to dedicate itself to covering high school sports, I'm going to read about it so I can get many different perspectives. And even if I don't agree with the perspective, like the rankings, but it doesn't matter, because I think it's good to read other people's stuff to gain more knowledge, because there might be some stuff you may not know about a certain situation or a certain team or a program. But that's why it's always good to keep reading. And that's a good lesson if you're a person who is listening and wants to become a journalist like me and Jace. It's always good to read other people's stuff, to not only look at different writing style, not look at different writing styles, but also to learn about different subjects that you may not be familiar with, because it can also help you in future stories down the line. So anyway, that's my TED Talk about learning.
There you go.
But anyway, Woodlawn defeats St. Martinville 21-0. Zachary defeats Opelousas 24-6.
What score was at halftime? Like it was.
Yeah.
But they finally found their stride late in that one.
Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah, big one for the Broncos at the Bronco Corral. Also one of the better venues around the state. I love covering games.
Oh, it's like a college.
Yeah,
It really is. It's incredible.
Yeah,
with the Jumbotron, the LED lights. It's cool. It's a cool place to play high school football at.
Yeah. South Terrebonne defeats AJ Ellender 12-2. Newman defeats Riverdale 49-21. And I got kind of a funny backstory about this game. You want to hear, Jace?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Louisiana 5A Division 1, right? You know about this stuff. Mm-hmm. So you know how they do the crystal ball?
Yeah.
Crystal ball. So crystal ball Newman and all like the Riverdale people, like Riverdale coaches, anybody from Riverdale. They're like, you got this rod, and we're going to preview the rod, and blah, 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 blah. They're going back and forth. And here's the thing. Like, if you're going to go after Louisiana 5A Division 1, here's the thing. He's very good at self-deprecation. And if you're trying to poke the fun at somebody who's really good at self-deprecation, probably shouldn't, because if they're good at self-deprecation, they're good at making fun of you badly. Mm. And there was a huge back and forth. It was really funny. And come game time, you know what the score at halftime was?
Oh, what was it?
42-7.
Yeah. So
Newman could have laid it on even more, but they're like, we want move on to next week.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So that's a very funny. It was a very funny situation, because I remember seeing that, and also the Hash It Out guys covered that as well.
Yeah,
it was pretty funny. Shout out Jared Boyd, BK Jones, and George Pepys. They're some funny guys. I'm probably gonna have them on the show. I'm gonna have JB and BK on the live show. They could I tried to get them to come on tonight, but they couldn't, because they're doing the live broadcast of the Kentwood A&E game.
Yeah.
So next week, hopefully, we get it done. They're cool guys. They're entertaining, and they might create some viral moments on here. You think I got some viral moments? They definitely got viral moments. So I'm gonna definitely have them on. True West Bank guys. West Bank people are crazy, but I love them. They're our crazy cousins over here in New Orleans. But anyway, let's get this scoreboard done. West Monroe defeats Scotlandville 50-0. Neville and Sterlington, what a battle! 17-10. Sterlington probably arguably played their best game of the year, and even though it came in a loss, I mean, that was a strong performance by the Panthers of Sterlington to compete with Neville, who's been one of the harder teams around the state. And Jace, what you got to say about Sterlington? I know Neville won the game.
Yeah,
Neville
right.
deserves credit, but we gotta give a lot of credit to Sterlington for still finding out, even though they've dealt them. I believe they're 2-3. I'm gonna double check that.
Sterlington struggled this year, but like in a way, like this is probably their most impressive performance.
They are 2-3.
This is their most impressive performance of the year. Like you would think, even though it was a loss, you think Coach Dottie and really this team, right? Like you think that they are feeling really good about where they're at, despite losing to Neville. And Neville looks human for once in a while, right? This is a really good. I guess there's no such things as like moral victories, but like this could be an exception because that is a very impressive performance to play a Neville team that's been hot. I mean, I talked about my 5A rankings right now. I have Neville pretty much right there in that top 3.
Oh, by the way, sorry to interrupt you, but speaking of he laughed about it. So.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Go ahead, Jace. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. But still, like Neville was fine, and that's what good teams do, Grant. Like when you're not at your best, you can't figure anything out. You still find a way to win the game, and that's what Neville did. That's what good teams do. So you gotta give him credit. You gotta give credit to Coach Collins and this team for finding a way to win that game. But this, even though it comes in a loss, Sterlington probably feels much better about where they're at than before this game, for sure. Even though it came in a loss.
Yeah. And speaking of tough losses, I mean,
look at this game.
Look at this score. But anyway, but I'm gonna finish my thoughts on this game. I mean, the thing about these Monroe teams, and no matter how much they're struggling or how much better the other team is, they're always gonna play each other tough. And that's what I respect about teams from around Northeast Louisiana. They're all, I mean, they take these games with pride, right? They're not gonna back down.
They play hard, man, up there.
Yeah, I love that, and that's the thing. I think if you want to look, it's very similar to like New Orleans, right? Like very kind of similar, like North, because everyone takes pride in the games they play. Like if you Brother Martin could be 10-0, and Jesuit could be 2-8, but Jesuit will play their butts off to try to beat Brother Martin because they take pride in that. I think Northeast Louisiana, they do that. And that's why you've seen a lot some of the more shocking victories have come from Northeast Louisiana because they take pride in the games they play. And you're seeing this right here, 51-47. I mean, that's so I really love how they play football up there. Tough physical football. I know people joke about Monroe and North Louisiana because it's either like West Mississippi or Southern Arkansas or East Texas. At the end of the day, they have Louisiana in their name, right? And so we're still going to claim them. There's maybe cultural differences, but we're still going to claim them. And they also play some damn good football. I think there's not a whole lot of areas that can do it better than Monroe. And look at this: Neville, West Monroe, Russon, Marshall Christian. There's a couple others there too, but the 4 teams I just named, I believe they've won 7. All four of them was at least 7 state championships.
Yeah, they've
and then Sterlington, all the success they've had.
Yeah,
Bastrop, Union Parish. I mean, you go down. If you look at the whole Northeast Louisiana, I mean, once you start going on the list, I mean, there's a lot of state championships. And that's why I think that's why they've always been the most successful region. What was it?
Rustin, yeah.
Sure. That's it. I think
you may have.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think I did. But anyway, if you look at that regional, you can see why they're probably arguably the most successful region in Louisiana. Because they may not have may not produce the players like a lot of the schools in New Orleans do or Lafayette, even Baton Rouge do. They just win championships, and that's why
just so good.
Every year. Yep.
Like one thing before you move on to the next scoreboard, there was one year Sterlington played Madison Prep in the state championship game, and Madison Prep was loaded. They had a bunch of Division I talent on that team. If you saw both teams warm up before the game, Grant, you thought, "Ooh, this is going to be an ugly game." Like Madison Prep just looks the part. Like there's no way the Sterlington team is going to beat them. and then they play the game, and Sterlington just outclasses them, in that game. So like they're tough and like they're not intimidated, and you're going to have to beat them like because they're going to play physical. They play a physical brand of football. That's Northeast Louisiana. Like they're not going to sugarcoat that, right? Like it's consistently, bully football. Maybe I guess that's why they have probably a bunch of farmers up there. Those country boys right up there in Northeast Louisiana. But that's their style. That's what they want to play. They want to play bully football. And you look at Union Parish, you look at Sterlington, you look at Ruston, like all those teams, like they want to pound the football and like, hey, like come to war with us, and like you're either gonna be ready or you're not gonna be ready. So like that's their style of football, and that's how they play, and it's pretty successful brand of football.
Yeah, I mean, we got to move on to the next game. I mean, similar thing. Washington Parish 51, Franklin Parish 47. Unfortunately, Franklin Parish is strong to start the season, ends tonight. And what was a game that we consider one of the top games of the matchup. We talked about this in our preview show that got uploaded late because YouTube's on some crack sometimes. But anyway, but it doesn't matter. But it was uploaded, so that's all that counts. But I watched the Parish pulls up the huge victory over Franklin Parish. I believe I picked Franklin. We both picked Franklin.
I think
Parish.
we both picked Franklin Parish. Yeah.
Huge. But I also said that Washington. I wouldn't be shocked to watch Top Parish.
Yeah.
Won this game. They got some talent, including defensive lineman Dylan Berryman.
Yep.
One of the top in the country. And I actually talked to him before the year on my podcast and recruiting board, which I will plan to get that back up and running again. It's just been really busy. But he talked about, he thought, looking at his team this year, even though they had a disappointing year last year, there's a lot of talent coming back this year. And he really felt like, they're going to be a good team this year and they're going to shock some people. There's one way to do it. And they beat a very good Franklin Parish team that, has had a strong, impressive start, that has had a strong start of the year. And, continue to have a strong year. But, it ends tonight against a very tough Washington Parish team.
Yeah.
Pineville defeats Red River 32-20. Houghton defeats Natchitoches Central 28-25. Holy Cross, huge win for the Coach Wani and the Tigers, picking up the upset victory over Jesuit 21-7. And I know we both picked Jesuit, but I also said this game a lot of times shocks people. You'd be surprised how many close games are between these two teams when, especially when Jesuit's really good and they seem to be the better team than Holy Cross. Holy Cross always finds a way to make it interesting.
Throw it out the window.
But this time, not only did they make it interesting, they won 21. They won by double digits. Huge victory for the Tigers, given all they've dealt with at the beginning of the year, losing the quarterback, Claude Johnson, for the whole year. To beat a Jesuit team that is a very much improved Jesuit team.
Yeah,
a team that I thought we both thought
we're making some strides.
They're making some strides. It looked like they could play spoiler to some teams in the Catholic League.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say they laid an egg after a huge victory over Brother Martin. But that's what happens when you win a big game like you did last week over Brother Martin. You could have a hangover, and that showed in this game. You're losing against a Holy Cross team that has dealt with a whole lot. But the Tigers fought back. They persevered despite all the issues they've been having, and he picked up a huge victory. By the way, I think this is the first time, actually. It's been a little while since Holy Cross has won back-to-back years in the rivalry. It's been a little. I can't recall the last time this has happened where they've won in back-to-back years.
Well, you have the saying "any given Sunday" in the NFL. When it comes to the Catholic League, any given Friday night, because anybody can beat any. Just throw the records out the window. That was one example. I don't think we got into the next game yet, the next score, but
we're about to.
Rummel and Brother Mars is gonna be another example. We'll get to it.
It's gonna. I know we haven't gotten to it yet. I know it's coming very soon though, because right now we just entered 5A territory. Right. So John Christian picks up the 26-7 victory over Ward Easton. Ward Easton now is 2-3 to start the year, and it's only going to get tougher for the Eagles. Given because now you're getting a Catholic league play. It's not the same league you used to play. Usually Warren Easton will play 35, and historically like 35, and Abrams.
They're always going to circle Carr at the end.
And then you had Carr at the end of the year, right? Because that's the game you always, because that was the toughest game you had.
Right.
They're district rivals. Both teams have a lot of similarities because of the history. Because Coach Phillips, of course, played at Carr.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. So everyone's familiar with each other. But now you're playing against. It's a whole lot different. It's a whole different ball game when you're playing against Jesuit, Curtis, Rummel, Brother Martin, St. Aug, and now Carr's in the Catholic League. Huge. It's a totally different ball game.
It's a transition. It's
compared to like some of the teams they played in the past, which 35. Kennedy when they're used to be 4A. I mean, those type of schools. Carver. Whole different ball game.
Yeah.
But I think, this is a good thing because they have a young team this year. It's always good, to have a young team like this, because next year, they're going to get older. Now they know what to expect.
They'll be fully adjusted to the schedules at the Catholic League. They'll be, after going through it 1 year, you'll be fully adjusted to it.
Right. And the difference between Carr and Easton going to the Catholic is that Carr was loaded. They're loaded every year.
Yeah, right.
Easton, they lost a lot. Not only did they lose a lot of players, they're young this year. And they don't, Carr has, dudes every season. They don't rebuild, they just reload. Easton, they're always gonna have a good team. But the difference is that when they have to rebuild, they have to rebuild. They can't reload, right? But anyway, Curtis wins over Warren Easton 26-7. Liberty defeats Bogalusa 44-0. Thibodeau defeats East St. John. East St. John does not look good, man. And that's kind of a shocker. If you looked at East St. John the last few years, East St. John's been a solid program. They've always been the number 2, number 3 team in that district. They've always been deeply competitive. Now,
second round, quarterfinal team. That's what they kind of been hovering around. So this is definitely surprising the way they've started the season.
They have not won a single. They have not won a single game, which is
wow.
I mean, so they've to kind of go over the schedule. A 20-0 shutout loss to St. James. A 34-7 loss to Hammond. Even though Hammond is an improved team, they are improved.
Coach Buck was doing a heck of a job.
He is. But when you're East St. John, that's a game you should win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know the history?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you go lose against Destrehan. You lose against Destrehan. Okay, that's one thing. But then you lose against a Thibodeau team that's been struggling.
Yeah.
All right, Thibodeau. And by the way, actually, you know what? Scratch that. Thibodeau's 3-1. Thibodeau has Thibodeau's only loss was the Central Lafourche. Which is pretty shocking too. That's a shocking loss as well.
Yeah.
But still, like that's a team that East St. John usually beats.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
So it's a very tough start for the season for the Wildcats at East St. John, and hopefully they get their wheels rolling again because it's only going to get tougher. Huntington defeats Evangel Christian 20-7, and that is a game we're going to avoid breaking down because we already broke it down, and I'm not trying to get in trouble.
Yeah, let's have another rant.
Humble defeats H.Y. Bourgeois 42-0. Hammond defeats Slidell 42-14. Terrebonne defeats Destrehan. Hey, is Hammond undefeated?
I think Hammond lost to somebody. I believe.
Let me check that. And then
was it Denham Springs?
Denham Springs, that's what it was. Yeah.
And hey, we got to talk about Denham Springs. You saw the score of that one?
Yeah, I did. I saw that. I think we're about to get to that.
We're about to get to it, but man, the Yellow Jackets are looking pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's a huge win over Southern Lab. 30 Terrebonne winning over District 30-21. Another impressive victory for Coach Lewis. Yeah. By the way,
is that the biggest win for Coach Lewis?
Might be.
Yeah, over District. I mean, I would.
What was the last time Terrebonne has beaten District? Like, let's think about that. So
Yeah.
huge victory over Chachere for Coach Lewis and the Terrebonne Tigers. Unfortunately, they did lose because Honville, so they have to hope and pray Honville loses a game down the line because Honville. I mean, you got to give a huge shout out to Coach Boyd and the job.
Oh, he's doing a fantastic job.
Which it doesn't shock me that he's got these guys back to where they should be.
Yeah, they should be.
This good. I don't know if it was this fast, but I knew they're going to play a physical brand of football once again because that's something they've been lacking the past couple of years. Dutchtown defeats Saint Amand. They came back. They came back down 21-7 to defeat the Gators 24-21. Huge victory over Dutchtown to improve to 5-0 and also remain at the top of the district title race.
Yep.
East Ascension beats Live Oak 18-14. Bonneville hands Kenner Discovery the first loss of the year and a 20-12 victory. And also at that game, they renamed so still Musperlino Stadium, but they renamed it. But they named the field after Ed Daniels at a ceremony. It's good. It's a good deal over there. But of course, Ed Daniels is a longtime native of Kenner. He grew up in Kenner. He's and up until the time he died, he lived in Kenner. So longtime Kenner resident, he loved Kenner. So it's great. So it's a good deal by the city of Kenner to dedicate the field at Musperluna Stadium after one of its most famous residents. And especially and also what Ed Daniels has done with my career. I got my first start interning under Ed Daniels at WGNL, and so it's always good. It's good to see that there's still a constant tribute to Ed because he's meant a lot to this city and high school sports, especially high school football in general. And he proved that high school football is a hot commodity in New Orleans and people care about it. And he was the first one to really show that a news broadcast. So, yeah, but I just want to say that because that's why I want to break this game down a little bit because it was an awesome moment to this game. And he shout out for Battle of the Kenner. But huge victory for the Bruins of the Bonneville Bruins, and Coach Prunk has done a great job with this Swamp Hollow program, and they'll bounce back. They have a long season to go. They've I think this team, he's done a good job, man. And shout out to Coach Prunk. That's the thing. When I was open Twitter, he's always posting about his team and giving updates and everything. I think that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. He's trying to get exposure to his program. That's what you gotta love him for, and spreading the word. So he deeply cares about his program, about his kids, and you love to see it. And anytime they can have success, it's somebody that you cheer for, and is a program that you cheer for because he's in it for the right reasons for the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Wasn't he the head coach of Bonneville too?
I believe he was. Yeah.
I know he coached it for a little bit. Yeah, so I'm not sure if he was that coach. But anyway, Karen Crow defeats New Iberia 18-0. Central defeats Lafayette Christian 31-22. The Wildcats are undefeated, 5-0. So
one more thing too for Karen Crow as well. Carson Gursey, your former junior high gridiron football bowl game quarterback, threw his first varsity touchdown tonight.
Awesome.
So I want to give him a shout out tonight.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So of course, first win for Gavin Peters, the head coach.
Yeah.
Tough start to the season. Of course, very tough schedule, especially when you have a young team, you're a new head coach. You have to replace a legend, of course, in Tony Corville. So a lot of huge things that happened this year for the Karen Crow Bears. But congrats to Coach Peters for getting his first win, and also congrats to the rest of the Bears team for the first win of the season. And hopefully they bounce back. They have a strong finish to the season after a rough start to the season. But of course, I already mentioned Central beat Lafayette Christian. Denham Springs picks up a huge victory from the Lab, 38-12. I know you can say, well, that's a 5A team defeating a 1A team. That's supposed to happen. Yeah. Southern Lab's a great team.
It's a really good team.
That's a very good team. They're the defending state champions. They have a lot of talent. Denham Springs, not only to win, but to win big over a Southern Lab team that a lot of people are so high on, despite losing some key players from last year. it's a great victory and a great momentum builder moving forward. Especially after last year, Dennis Green's had a 3-7 record.
They've already got more wins already at this point than all of last year.
Yeah, so Coach Beer's doing a great job, and I think that's the team you need to watch out for as the season goes along.
Jerry Horn is a very underrated quarterback in South Louisiana. Him and Tylen Haynes at receiver, like they're really good. Like Sun Lab's going to bounce back. I mean, Jerry Bayou was actually our player of the week this week, Grant, for Gridiron football. So they're going to bounce back. But big win for Denham Springs, and hey, Yellow Jackets looking pretty good right now. I believe at 4-1. So huge win for them, and they're going to be tough down the stretch, especially when they're playing like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. And we mentioned how the Catholic League was. I mentioned it on the little thing right here. If you're reading it, welcome to Friday Nights on the Bayou, Week 5 Nightcap, and then boom, here it is. The Catholic League may or may not need a sobriety test. The reason why I said that is not only because of the Jesuit Holy Cross result, but also this game. Rummel, I thought we both said was the second best team in the Catholic League because they looked really impressive to start the year. I mean, they've had 4 big-time wins. I even said they should be the 4th best team in 5A.
Yeah.
And I disagree with Vincent about that. And and how they did pull. But guess what? They lost to Brother Martin last night, so I guess he was right at the end. Shout out to Vincent. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's really tough. Just Casipo or I don't know. I'll probably ask him how to pronounce it.
Just call him Vincent, Grant.
I'll spell Vincent. Yeah, it's Italian. It's Italian, but anyway. But yeah,
St. Aug has a chance tomorrow to. They play really well in the car.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a second. Don't spoil it, Jace. Brother Martin defeats Brummel 17-13. A great victory for the Crusaders after a tough loss to Jesuit 17-5 last week. What hell of a way to respond. This is a game I actually thought, because I said before last week that this was a game that I thought both teams were going to be undefeated. It was going to be a huge game, sellout crowd at Joe Yenny Stadium. But Brother Martin lost last week, so it's still going to be a big game, but it lost a little bit of its luster. Well, Brother Martin picks up a huge win over Archbishop Brummel. Now the question remains, who is the second best team in the Catholic League? We don't know. That's the problem. The Catholic League needs a sobriety test because I'm not sure what the hell is going on over there besides in the car. But even then, we don't know what the hell is going to happen with that game tomorrow.
Yeah, the car was down 20-0 to Holy Cross before coming back. So
yeah, Crescent could be car. Now we're in full madness now. So now nobody knows what the hell they're doing.
Nope.
So that can easily happen, which I think is great.
Clinging to as far as like sanity right now. Like, and the car is the only thing keeping this from really going off the shelf. So off the loose end. So we'll find out tomorrow how that turns out.
I think actually it's right here because because now I'm on the StreamYard thing, so I'm looking at his last name now. I think it's Cassiopa. It's Cassiopa. I think that's her pronounce.
Yeah, Cassiopa.
Yeah, that's okay. Because I wasn't looking at it, so I didn't know how to. So I would make sure that we pronounce. I think that's how you pronounce. I could be wrong. I can't be right. I don't know. Sometimes and it doesn't matter. What I do know is that Acadiana defeated South for 45-0. So Acadiana is still moving strong. 4 straight victories for the Rams after losing their season opener to Ruston on the road, 35-27.
That was a pretty
and that loss is looking even better and better by the day.
Yeah.
Airline defeats Captain Shreve.
Was there any defense in this game?
Jace, if you told me this is a basketball game, I would have believed you. So yes. So I don't think there was any defense played. Airline defeats Captain Shreve 69-68.
Unbelievable.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
That's a nice score. I love that score. That's a beautiful score. Awesome score. 10 out of 10. 69 of 10. I don't think that's even possible, but it doesn't matter. But Jace, this is one of the top games of the week. This is one of our top games we discussed. Jace, I guess defense doesn't exist anymore what the hell's gone on with this generation, Jace.
I guess you're like, what is defense? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
Jeopardy question.
what is defense? I guess, but like, hey, when you have Ben Taylor, you have those receivers. Like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense with that offense you're going against. But like, and the thing is, Grant, they score like they're in these games every week. You know what airline is, and they always find a way to win these games. I just can't. Usually the odds are stacked against you. Like, okay, you keep playing this style of football, it's gonna go against you. But every single time, almost.
Hey! I nailed it. Let's go. I can't pronounce guy. I can't pronounce guy. I can't pronounce guy. Is it how you pronounce guy? Is it Gidon?
Gaydon.
I still can't pronounce that, but I got the last name. Bang, let's go, dude. I used to watch this. I was like, oh, should I probably butcher his last name? Let me look at his last name and just like do it. I was like, context loose. There it is.
I mean, I feel like Lejeune is actually harder because
because there's different pronunciations of it,
right? Because you think there's like imaginary R in there, but there's not. So
yeah, same thing with my last name because so like remember when Lucas mispronounced my last name? Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, it's Chachere. It's like he's out there. It's like, no, don't worry about it, dude. Like in Lafayette, apparently, because I found out that that's actually the right way to pronounce it. In French, it's just Louisiana. We're just drunk, so all the time, 24/7, Mardi Gras every day.
Pretty much
Louisiana, unless you're like a non-alcoholic, which I'm not alcoholic anyway. But you get what my point is. Like. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We got Cajuns, we got Creoles, we got everybody, man. So we have different pronunciations. I mean that, like for example, a good Verdun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of different. It's kind of a weird thing, but you would think they all sound the same, but they're not. It's just a weird. Like it's a weird ordeal. But anyway, go back to the scoreboard. We're almost done.
And we have, guess what's another score?
69-7.
Yeah.
Nice. But I'll say this though, because I mean, Jace, this is kind of a topic we've touched on before.
Yeah.
But I think this needs to be a much bigger storyline than it actually is. Manny was a program. It was a program that we always expected.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all expected the Tigers to compete for a state championship.
Yeah.
Year in, year out. Under Jess Curtis, and
I mean,
and we knew there's gonna be some struggles after he left last year for Nacogdoches Central, and of course now it's the South Side, but he originally left for Nacogdoches Central to take a new challenge because he wanted to coach 5A football. And one of the topics was how is Manny gonna do after a guy like him leaves, right? It's tough shoes to follow. The tough shoes to fill in, and then and also you saw a lot of players coming back, but Manny, they went to the quarterfinal, even though they didn't look like the Manny of the dominant Manny, still went to the quarterfinal.
They're competitive.
They're still competitive team, but this year
they're in the mix.
But this year, I mean, under Just Curtis, I would never. If you told me Manny would lose 69-7 to Alexandria. Under Just Curtis, I wouldn't have believed this. Like, this is not the same man. Like, what's going on with Manny? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it is tough. I mean, and like you said, I mean, those are big shoes to fill for Just Curtis. I mean, Just Curtis really built this into a powerhouse. I mean, really a team that's always number 1 or number 2 in the power rankings, number 1, 2 seed.
They're 0-5. By the way, Jace, they're 0-5 right now.
Yeah,
They've not won a game. Like I thought I knew they were struggling. I didn't know they were 0-5. So that's even worse.
Manny was so dominant that that's probably like a stretch of 4 or 5 years, 5 losses, and they're 0-5 already.
By the way, I just want to let you know. So I mean they lost to Logansport 46-7. They lost against DeRidder 37-0. But in the last 3 games, they've allowed 60 points or more.
Yeah, I mean, just to not be competitive that's not what you expect. I mean, Manny was just what 2 years ago. I mean, they were in the Superdome. It was Tackett Curtis and Trey Holly going against
Yep.
each other, and for them to fall off like they did in a matter of 2 years it's insane
Jace.
because
Yeah.
they were a powerhouse. I mean,
Yeah.
to say what they were.
Yeah. Jace, I'm going to here's an interesting stat. They've lost as many games this year. 0-5, of course, they're 0-5, but they've lost as many games this year as they've lost the last 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like that. This is 3 years of work of losses we've seen in only half a season for Manny, just in comparison. So, like you don't see them lose in the regular season. That's how dominant like Jess Curtis has been. Like a disappointing season for Manny would be going 9-1 and going to the semis.
Yeah.
Like, that was a disappointing season for Manny.
Yeah.
So I just can't imagine what really the community, the fan base. I mean that's tough. I mean, one thing to lose because we're talking about St. Charles Catholic, right? The slow start to the season for them, right?
Mhm.
But to not even be competitive, like
Yeah.
that's rough. Like that's a downward spiral.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like I knew they were struggling, but I mean, I didn't know they're 0-5. So I mean, that's not even struggling anymore. That's just being downright pitiful.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
That's just. I mean, they'll allow 60 points or more in the last 3 games. That's pitiful. Now, in one of those games, you allowed 400 yards of rushing to one player.
Yeah. I mean, he's leading the state right now in rushing. But
I mean, no, he is. Xavier Ford's a hell of a back.
Xavier Ford is a hell of a back.
He's a hell of a back. He's got an opportunity.
And Ash is going like they're a state championship team. That's how good this team is.
Yeah, they are good, but still,
not even be competitive.
To not even be competitive. Like Manny was built on defense.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Jeff Curtis was a defensive guy. There's
the whole skill about the Northeast teams, Grant, about being tough, being the bully, being physical.
Yes,
that was Manny. I mean, Manny was an extension of that, and for them just to be the ones that are being bullied right now, that's definitely not Manny football.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know we got to move on because we got got a couple. I got one more things to talk about, but I mean, it's really disappointing. That Manny's kind of this state. You don't want to, like I said about Evander earlier, like you don't want to see those type of teams struggle because that's because when you're seeing this program be at its highest,
that's what it's at best. High school football is
best. I feel like that's because whether you hate them or you love them, because when they're good, it helps out with the rest. Because let's say, for example, Catholic. There's some people that don't like Catholic, but when you lose, you get all hyped up. Because everyone wants I want to be Catholic the state championship, or I want to be Courage the state championship. Like there's a drive. There's a drive, right, for your rivals to beat you. When a team's at their best, there's a drive for the other teams around you to beat that team. Grant, when you're not that dominant, what's up?
I was just going to say everybody loves a villain. And when you have that villain, when you have that team to root against, like everybody's rooting against, kind of like the us against the world mentality, like that makes competition fun. That's what makes sports fun. Like if you don't have that bad guy, you don't have that villain, then what's the point? If each team, for example, if you're going to have a team that comes in and says, oh, that team are playing a great football team, a great coach, they're awesome. Like it's going to be a great game. Like we're very excited to share the same field with these guys. And the other team says the same thing. Like, do you really have a rooting interest with that?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
For example, if you have one coach that says, oh, we're going to kick their butts. Like we're going to dominate them. We're going to set the tone. Like we're going to show we're the tough guys. They ain't going to beat us if we're at our best. That kind of stuff. Then like you become the villain, right? So like high school football is at its best when sports is at its best when you have that rooting interest to root against. And then that was really Manny. Really, be honest. So we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be tough to bounce back. Like you said, they gave up over 60 points the last 3 games, and it's been tough. So we'll see. We'll see how they bounce back from this.
Yeah, Jason. We've got a couple more matchups that we got to tell the scores of. Grant defeats Bolton Academy 46-8. Hemphill High School in the state of Texas defeats Maryville 44-12. Haynesville defeats Lincoln Prep 45-6. And that wraps up the Thursdays and Friday nights games. Thomas Jefferson will play Walter L. Cohen tomorrow. Ruston will play will be in a highly anticipated matchup with Stephenville High School of Texas. Both teams are undefeated. Stephenville has had a lot of success in the state of Texas. One of the better programs in the state of Texas. So if Ruston beats them, who the hell is going to be Ruston? That's
sweeping the Ruston tour.
Yeah. Then McMain will play Higgins tomorrow. 35 East Jeff will play. That'll be kind of an interesting game too.
Yeah.
Washington Marion and Peabody will play each other, and then of course the headliner and St. Aug. Jace, before we wrap things up, what are some key thoughts about this game?
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. Grant, I know that you're covering the game too for Crescent City. Gridiron football will also be covering the game as well. Daryl Felker is gonna be covering the game, so we're excited about that. So Daryl's gonna be covering the game too. So make sure to follow us at Gridiron Football on X for that. But yeah, it's gonna be a great game, Grant. Right now, I mean, we did say that Rummel was like the number 2 team for us in the Catholic League, but this is going to come down to, Grant, how does the St. Aug team led by Robert Valdez, how much advanced they like in terms of being in the spotlight? So this is their shot. Like, how far are they at this point? Can they compete with Carr? Can they beat Carr? Is Carr going to run them out the building? Like, there's so many different options here. Like, and the Carr can blow them out. St. Aug can upset them. Carr can play them close. Like, it's a wild card. You don't know what you're going to get from this game tomorrow, Grant. But it's as good of a measuring stick if you are Robert Valdez to see how good are we, because we're playing. You could say arguably the best team in the state, because I know people are saying Ruston is, but this is your measuring stick here. How good can you be when you're playing this on the Carr team? And tomorrow, even though and the Carr is a program, the team, I think tomorrow is really more about St. Aug than anything.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's on both teams. I think, because Carr, of course, Carr is the, I guess you could say the flagship high school of the military. I mean, It's very fair to say that, considering the success they've had the last 5 to 10 years. I mean, they're kind of the new kids on the block in the Catholic League. Of course, Curtis was kind of that program for a little bit. Even though, I mean, you could say Grummel's, up there too.
They had like the 2010s. Rummel had it going.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it was, and then that was the kind of marquee matchup of the Catholic League was Rummel and Curtis, and then now Carr's kind of joining the mix, and Carr and Curtis have a thing going too. That started back in 2018, 2019 when they started playing each other every year.
Yeah, and ESPN would be on the ESPN.
And I think it's a great rivalry. I mean, of course, it's kind of like the new kids on the block versus the old kids on the block. I mean, Bryce Brown and JT Curtis are the two best coaches in the New Orleans area for sure.
Absolutely, no.
I can't. You can't. I mean, I can't. The amount of respect I have for both of this man is out of this world. Just got mentoring young men, making them successful, and they're
doing their own way too. So
and both coaches, both coaches respect each other. It's almost like when JT, retires, and hopefully it's not anytime soon, but it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen where he's going to, retirement's going to happen.
Yeah, he's closer to the end.
I mean, he's getting close to the end. I mean, but you can kind of see the baton being passed, right? Kind of like with Saban and Kirby. Kind of like that.
Right.
Where you can kind of see where it's going away from Saban and kind of getting closer to Kirby. It's kind of that with JT and Coach Brown. I mean, that's kind of how it is. But so I think that's how I kind of see the rivalry. But anyway, go back to Carr. I mean, St. Aug is now kind of the new thing. They're not. No, they've been in the Catholic League for a very long time, since the late '60s, early '70s. But in the sense that, oh hey, we're the hottest new toy in New Orleans. We're the hottest in New Orleans. That I think this is going to be a game. That I think whoever wins this game might be the favorite to win the Catholic League. I mean, he's probably that.
Oh, it's a driver's seat. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a driver's seat because everyone's lost at least once.
Yeah, right. So like, this is it. Like right now, like who is the bad boy in the Catholic League?
Yeah.
This is what the game is tomorrow. It's going to be about. And this is an opportunity because of Rummel losing too. Like this pretty much opens the door for like, all right, who is going to be that leader in the Catholic League? And when we go at the end of the season and talk about who actually wins it, this is going to be a game we talk about. So it's huge. It's an understatement of how big this game is tomorrow.
Yeah, and then also you got to think about this too, is that let's just say hypothetically St. Aug wins. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with Franklinton we talked about earlier. Nobody's really taking them seriously until they start winning games. And so I think St. Aug is the thing. Like St. Aug's beaten some good teams, right? But St. Aug has not beaten a.
This is a different level. Like this is.
Like, I mean, if they beat this Carr team, I think people are going to take them a lot more seriously than they are now. Now, people are taking St. Aug seriously because we're looking at their past results and what they've done. But you beat a Carr,
Easton.
Yeah, but if you beat a team like Carr, like maybe we should put them in the state title contender category because now they're like, oh, this team is really good. You need to watch out for this team. But now you're thinking of, man, they could be we're looking at a team that could be in the dome. That's a completely different thing.
That's why I think this game is more important for St. Aug than Carr. Because you pretty much know what you got already with Carr. You know their reputation. You know what they've done. Like it speaks for itself, right? This game, I feel like it's more about St. Aug and see where they're at in the measuring stick. Where do they stack with an elite team? Because we know, and the Carr's elite, right? They're in elite status. Now, this is an opportunity to see where does St. Aug fall in that pecking order. This is their opportunity to show that tomorrow. So that's why I think it's more. Regardless, I think this is more on St. Aug to see how good they really are.
Yeah, no doubt. And big game tomorrow. I'm excited for this matchup. But anyway, we're gonna have to wrap up the show, guys. I gotta finish this article.
Myself too.
And I'm gonna go to bed because I've only slept for 2 hours in the last literally 24 hours. Around
this time.
No, it's because of my damn dog. I blame it on my dog 100%. I was pissed last night. That was the first time I was legit pissed at my dog, and I yelled at her to go back to her cage, and she was so sad going back to her cage. I felt bad, but at the same time I was like, dude, you woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I never went back to bed, and then they couldn't fall back to sleep. I was pissed. I was so pissed. But anyway, this is Grant Chachere of I'm your host and owner of Rougarou Sports Media, as well as a reporter for CrescentCitySports.com. Make sure to check out CrescentCitySports.com, and then also to like, if you're on YouTube, to like this video, subscribe to Rougarou Sports Media's YouTube channel, and then also make sure to follow Rougarou Sports Media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I don't like to call it X. I call it Twitter.
I might as well.
No, I don't know why they changed it, but
just make it easy. Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, I like to use Twitter. X is like. But anyway, and also make sure to follow Jace Lejeune on Twitter.
Yeah.
Jace Lejeune, simple as that. Also make sure to follow Gridiron Football for all your content, not only in the state of Louisiana in regards to prep and college football, but also nationwide. And also make sure to follow them on social media as well. You can see us again sometime next week where we'll be doing a preview show of Week 6. We also might have a separate episode where we might have a guest. Jace may not be on, depending on his schedule. We're getting closer and closer to the end of high school football season and also the bowl game.
Yeah,
I prep for that.
Feel it. I'm actually starting to feel it already getting into October. And Grant, the other Grant, LSU Grant, called me today for the ticket office and was like, "Hey Chase, y'all want y'all looking y'all schedule for the bowl game to have all those players down there for basketball game." So yeah, I'm starting to get a feel like, oh, it's coming around the corner. So I got
So it's he's gonna be busy, and that's what happened last time where I had on Mike Coppage. So we're always good. So it's always gonna be kind of a rotating thing. Jason's gonna be here most of the time, but sometimes I might have a different person. I would say co-host with, but it'd be a special guest host. I guess you could say that. But anyway, but that's what's gonna happen next week. And then also, like every Friday, we'll have our Nightcap show to react to all the best games from across the state. And it'll be live streamed, of course, on both YouTube and Twitter. Try to get on Facebook as well, but I guess there's some issues with Facebook and StreamYard.
And then also one more thing, Grant's also going to be on our show too. This is more of a recap, really. We talked to all of our beat reporters for Gridiron football to recap their games, and it's the same thing for Grant. Grant's just going to have a overall assessment on what he thinks about high school football in the state. So y'all guys check that out for Ball in the Boot too. So that way we kind of feed off each other for both those shows.
Yeah, and I've always gone there for about an hour every day to just usually 45 minutes to an hour to discuss all the latest happenings around high school football in Louisiana. But also you get a chance to meet some of the interns that Gridiron football has. They've done a great job of going around the state and cover. Last year I was really the only one that traveled. So and a lot of times it's to New Orleans because that's where I'm from, and also I could go cover a game, spend the night there, and then drive back because I don't feel like driving back after a game, especially for an hour. When I was going to LSU, but but they've done a great job going to Lafayette, going to New Orleans. Trying to get the best coverage possible. Tonight when I was actually at the game, Chachere was there covering the game.
He was.
So so I'm glad that they're trying to send as many guys as possible to cover the top games around the state, and that makes the coverage even better because not only not just covering a few games in the Baton Rouge area, you're covering now St. Thomas More versus Catholic or Rommel versus Chachere. So they've done a great job. So make sure to check them out as well. And even if you not interested in the matchup, there's a timeline where you can click. Okay, I want to listen to what he has to say about this matchup. And so that's why we have a timeline. So that way you don't have to listen to the whole thing. It's a long show. It really is.
It's like over 2 hours long. It's the longest show we have. I really feel bad for Mo because he got put all of that together on one of our interns. But still, I mean, it's a lot of insight. It's a good opportunity for our interns as well to not only just cover the game, like write a game recap or do live tweeting about it, but also talk about it too, and just give more coverage for the game they talked about or they covered. So we're really liking it. It's a really good format, so we'll make sure to keep it going. So every Tuesday afternoon is when we'll have that show up. So y'all make sure to check it out and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Gridiron Football.
Yes, and also go to bed, just which is what we're gonna do right after the stream.
Right now.
We still got work to do, but
we got poster articles for tomorrow morning.
But anyway, thanks guys for listening along and enjoying the live stream of both Twitter and YouTube. Of course, again, we'll do this again next Friday.
Yep.
But we gotta hate up on our coach. I'm tired. I'm about to work. Anyway, let's go. Peace out. It's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Bye.